United Spurs of America, with your hosts, Michael and Jacob.
Hello, everyone, and welcome in to another edition of the United Spurs of America podcast, joined, as always, by your hosts, Michael and Jacob, coming to you following a Tottenham 3-2 loss at home in the Premier League against Southampton. Jacob, somber episode, my friend.
Yeah, you're
It's
right.
going to be a different vibe than the last few ones that we've been privileged with, but
I would
yeah,
say
man.
this feels worse than a Chelsea loss. I'm going to jump off saying that. This feels worse. This is a game that
you
we
do?
should have.
I don't know, man. There's something about losing to Chelsea for me that's just like, bro, like, you know what I mean?
It's different, but I'm saying this is deeper. Like the fact that we, first of all, drew against them the first time we played them, which was a 3-1 draw because we had 2 goals called
Controversial.
back. Again, we have more goals called back versus Southampton. This time it results in a loss. For me, this fucking hurts, bro. This
It
hurts.
really does. It really does. Because you look at the upcoming schedule for Tottenham in the Premier League. You have Wolves next at home, but then you have Man City, and then you have to go to Leeds United. Both of those last two are away games. It's going to be tough, man. I felt like this was a game when we had talked about it on the live stream yesterday on Tottenham Away's YouTube channel. We had talked about it because this was one of the games where you really needed to secure all 3 points. We have a few games in hand still around on the teams that are currently around us in the Premier League table, but a really good chance to move up in the Premier League standings. It was a frustrating way to lose, really. The last 2 goals that Southampton scored were within 3 minutes of each other, and they were both
Oh my
headers
God.
following beautiful crosses. But yeah, Tottenham lose 3-2. More importantly, it's a home loss in the Premier League. We hadn't seen that yet from Antonio Conte so far this season, so that one hurts a little bit as well. Tottenham goals, the first one was an own goal, ruled an own goal, but it looked like it had been tapped in by Hyunmin Hung, Hyunmin Dad, Hyunmin Son, and then
From an
Hyunmin Son
assist.
did.
Don't forget who the assist. Don't forget who should have been credited with an assist, but he doesn't get the assist because of the own goal. That was Pierre-Emile Højbjerg.
Mm-hmm.
That
And
was his
then,
pass that got in that net.
And then Hyunmin Son did double our scoring, put us up 2-1 at the time in the 70th minute before Southampton equalized and then took the lead in the 79th and 82nd minute respectively. But first of all, man, let's go over this lineup. No changes from the last game. Hugo in net, threesome at the back of Sanchez, Romero, and Davies. Emerson at right wing back, Reguilon at the left wing back position. In the middle, you had Harry Winks with Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, like you had mentioned. And then up top, we did play with 3 once again in a 3-4-3 formation with Lucas, Kane, and Son. First of all, man, obviously, same lineup as the last game. You know, what was the biggest difference that you saw, especially in the first half, from the past game where we had won, comfortably against Brighton 3-1 in the FA Cup just a few days ago, to now here against a pretty tough Southampton side that was very, very stubborn and very, very relentless, it looked like, just flying out of the gates. You know, what did you see from us, though, the difference between last game and this game?
Are we talking the Brighton game or are we talking less? Are we talking Premier League game?
The Brighton victory.
We seemed like we went out there with a purpose and we had confidence behind it. And I felt like we had that in the first, say, 20, 25 minutes-ish of the first half. But after that, it was like, what are we doing, man? Like, they just had so many shots on goal. I think it was like 20.
Yeah.
And 9 of them were on target, something like that. Hugo Lloris was so busy. When your goalkeeper's under that much pressure,
Yeah.
in the first and second half, I don't care what half, 20 shots, 9 on target, your goalie's being busy. We could have lost by so much more. But
Yeah, it was 23 shots, 10 on target. It's unbelievable. Versus our 8 and 3 on target.
that's just horrible. I thought we looked confused in the midfield for a lot of that game as well. I felt
They
like
looked
we
overwhelmed again, and it like this.
Just-
This isn't the first time either. That's kind of the frustrating part for me.
the fact that a team like Southampton can come in and rattle you in your own stadium with their tactics versus our tactics. I mean, to me, what this is saying is that we're still not sure of ourselves. Antonio Conte can only do so much. This game also showed me the fire that is within Antonio Conte, and I love him so much. I DM'd him on Instagram the other day. Just told him I love you. Thank you for coaching Tottenham. We love you in America. Thank you again. Shit like that. I love Antonio Conte and the passion, the desire that this man has to win. Like, it's infectious. And I feel like our players have that. So, like, to be on slightly optimistic, I feel like our players do feel that energy and they replicate it, but on the same level, we show our true colors every now and then again. We've said it how many times. We're impressed with Davies. We're impressed with Sanchez. We're impressed with Winks. You know, because Antonio Conte, again, he can only do so much. The magic can only last so long. And then these guys are going to show their true colors. And I think that's what I'm worried about now. I mean, on our last episode, I was saying how excited I was about our back line. Now I'm like, when Dyer comes back, is he going to eventually show his true colors too? Because for me, Sanchez, he had a 50-50 game. There was chances where he looked good. There was other chances he looked like he was confused.
Yeah.
Emerson Royale, I know we're going to dive into him later, so I'm not going to say too much about him, but I thought Winks looked out of place. I thought this is a guy that, looking at James Ward-Prowse of the other team, this is someone that we've both talked about would be a great addition to our squad because of his free kicking abilities. I think today he showed more than just his free kicking abilities, and it's unfortunate that he showed that against us. And especially, this is a guy that I would have loved to see brought in. I don't think he's ranked high enough. I think he's disrespected, but he's so much better of a player than Harry Winks, right? I think this is a guy that he should replace, but I didn't think Sergio Reguilon had that good of a game. I thought Ben Davies didn't have that good of a game. I mean, I would attribute that first goal, honestly, I attribute that first goal to Ben Davies.
And Emerson as well, who was defending the Armando Broja, who had ended up scoring as well.
None of that shit happens if fucking Ben Davies don't slip on
I
his own
agree,
dig.
but still, it did happen. You know what I mean? Like, you just got to find a way to recover there, like defensively.
I don't like
And I
it.
felt that we did poor. First of all, I have no idea what the fuck Davies was. Well, let's just get into the first goal. Perfect segue. Thank you, Jacob. It was scored by Armando Broja in the 23rd minute. And then at the time
That's
it
a
did
hell of a
equalize.
last name. I hate the guy because he's Chelsea, but that's a hell of a last name. Broja.
When
That's
he
fucking-
scored at the time, it was actually equalizing their own goal, which had opened the scoring in the 18th minute. Broja scored in the 23rd. Ben Davies tripped clearance from him in the right-hand side of the box.
Awful.
Pretty much went straight into the air. Southampton recovered, crossed it into the box. Broja converted the chance, and oof. That's what I have to say, bro. Ben Davies, if you're listening to this, my guy, what the fuck are you doing?
You okay?
Are you okay?
That's my question.
Good
for you,
Lord.
bro. Jesus Christ.
What would you describe it? Of a trip,
I'll call it
mishit?
clumsy feet. Clumsy
Good
ass
Lord,
feet.
bro.
He's just stepping in the wrong place. His balance is off. He's worried. I mean, for me, he knows he's in front of net and he's fucking up. He was out of position. And he knows it. And he's in front of net and he knows it. His confidence ain't the greatest because he knows he ain't the greatest. To me, it's just accumulation of all them things. And he looked sloppy out there. It was embarrassing, bro. It was embarrassing. I mean, the fact that it's a team like Southampton, they're struggling just to stay in the top 10. They're not even in the top 10, are they?
I have it pulled up right here. They're currently in 10th now. They were in 13th before the game.
See, that's
behind
what I'm saying.
Leicester,
They're going to use us as a turning stone for their season. You know what I'm saying? So, like, this fucking burns, bro. This loss sucks. Like, I thought their keeper had a couple really cool saves. And by cool, I mean fuck you.
Yeah.
I thought Hangman's son, there was a few chances there where He looked like his touch was a little too heavy, or he second guessed his decision making.
Reguilon could have had a goal as well.
I feel like Reguilon let us down a lot. I will give him credit for one really great pass that kind of just doinked Harry Kane in the face.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I didn't think he was good. I know a lot of people love the guy. I didn't think he was that good. Motherfucker.
I was
God, I'm so
disappointed with
upset.
both of the wing backs, man. Especially after the performance that they had against Brighton. I thought our wing backs in particular played very, very well in the FA Cup victory. And then they come out against Southampton. They look kind of flat. Emerson looks overwhelmed on the right-hand side, as did Sanchez, just in general. If you look at most of the chances in the first half, it came through that right-hand side. And I was very, very worried coming out of halftime because I was like, okay, what kind of adjustments are these guys going to make? Are we going to go to a back four? It ended up not being the case. Stayed with a 3-4-3 formation pretty much until we saw our substitutes come in, which were two of the new lads. They made their first Premier League appearance for both of them, Rodrigo Bentancur and Dejan Kulusevski. We'll get into them a little bit later, but first of all, man, let's get into this back line. 3 goals conceded, obviously, on the day. A loss at home as well. Let's go over the right-hand side, since that's what I was starting to get into earlier. All right,
Yeah.
so you have Emerson and Sanchez, who, like I said, most of the chances were through our right-hand side, especially in the first half. And I have to say, real quick, Jacob, I had texted you, and I had said, I think this was like in the 40th, maybe like 42nd-ish minute. I was like, dude, these guys look rattled. These guys look like they're playing on the road right now. This does not look like a home game. This looks like they're playing at a tough away environment in the Premier League on a soggy, rainy afternoon, like instead of being at home.
Bummy boys.
Dude, like it was just night and day from the Brighton win to this game. Both Sanchez and Emerson, they were both great against Brighton. Even Emerson had a pretty good game, and that's saying a lot. He doesn't have a lot of those recently.
I just pulled up
Sanchez.
your text. You said, dude, we look shook as fuck. What the fuck is wrong with our defense? Midfield and backline, what the fuck? They look like they're playing on the road. Those are 4 different messages in succession.
I was
were
getting
texting
so
each other
frustrated, dude.
rapidly. No, I mean, me too. There was a moment where I think I sent you like 6 texts in a row because we were both just going off. It was a stressful game, bro. It was so stressful for so many different reasons. I'm not trying to get off topic. I know we're talking about the back line, but just talking about the game, man, it was exciting and fucking stressful, and we lost it. Like, usually those stressful of a games, we somehow pull them off because it's against a lesser opponent.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't happen today, so I'm pretty disappointed. The one thing I will say positive about Emerson Royale today, on our first goal, where we got the own goal, there was a very long pass, kind of switching play. I don't remember who it was from, but it was not on target. And Emerson, I thought, did a really good job of retaining that ball, keeping it in play. He passed it to, I think, Lucas, and Lucas to Pierre, and then Pierre to in the net. Kind of a sunny almost happen. But that's the one thing I'll give him credit for. Other than that, I thought he looked lost.
I'm going to give him credit also for Big Dick and Broja in the lead up to our second goal, to the Sonny
That is
goal.
true, too. Actually, yeah, that is true. Give him 2 props.
He pretty much jumps over Broja, wins the header. Broja falls to the ground trying to draw a foul,
He goes goop,
and
goop,
stays down, goes through like the head protocol situation, the concussion protocol or whatever.
goop.
And basically Southampton fans and Southampton players were trying to rule out the goal, our second goal, because of Broja falling down. And I think I tweeted out, "Get up, little boy." But Broja, if you're listening to this, get up, little boy.
Get
and
up, you little boy.
I hate
Get
the
your
fact that
ass
your
up.
team won today.
Get your ass up.
But yeah, I'm gonna. This is the last good thing I'll say about Emerson. He was actually planning to be my BDE of the match if we had won today. If we had won
Because of
2-1 because of that
That's
header.
fair. Yeah.
That was mad BDE energy, BDE, big dick energy.
Mm-hmm.
But because we lost 3-2 now, fuck it, dude. I don't know if anyone's getting BDE.
But that's the thing is he did a couple of good things for us offensively, but
But
defensively he's fucking absent.
Yeah.
And it really was apparent today. They took advantage of it. I feel like their manager knew where our weak spot was Emerson and Sanchez,
Yeah.
and he attacked it. And they did a great job. I mean, hats off. They fought that game real hard, but also fuck you.
Yeah. Che Adams and Elianusi on the left-hand side are really causing us problems, like we mentioned. Let's talk about Sanchez now, man. We had given him a lot of praise on the last episode of the pod, and then also yesterday on the live stream as well. And we mentioned how not Sanchez. Conte really loves Sanchez actually as a player, and we were kind of getting excited about it because okay, we have some players in our camp that Conte's already set on, he has them in his plans. But gosh dang, man, it was so frustrating to watch today. I felt like I was watching the same old boneheaded Sanchez decision making. Just overall ability, it seemed like he was just a step behind the Southampton attack. But just even him, man, like we had been giving him so much praise because really for his consistency, not only was he putting up good performances, but he was doing it consistently. And then now he has a performance like this where it's another dud, and it's kind of like back to the old rhetoric of, all right, man, well, is Sanchez going to be consistent, or is he going to put up these type of performances every now and again?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. There was a few moments where I thought he was okay, but again, it's just that's our weak spot, and it was attacked. I mean, I'm not a big stat guy, but I'm here looking at the numbers of our worst three performing players were Winks, Royale, and Davinson
Who were on the right side.
who were all in that same little area, and they were fucking attacking it. And Christian Romero was big dicking all over the place.
He had a few bad passes.
He had a
That
few
like
really
kind
good
of got
passes
me.
too.
Yeah, that kind of got me frustrated. But I thought he was our best defender by far today. Once again, the
And
man's
it was not-
class.
He was great. He had a couple of really good passes as well. I think he was our best passer until Rodrigo Bentancur came on. I think once Bentancur came on, that he showed enough to me that he deserves to start over Winks 100,000%. I think I would start Højbjerg. I think you need Skip or Højbjerg in there for your defense,
Skip
for our
missed
back
out.
line.
Skip, Dyer, and Tanganga missed out their injury today. Skip had a groin problem. Dyer, it's a thigh, and then Tanganga, I think it's an ankle, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I agree. Once you get Skip back, put in Bentancur, and then maybe possibly Kulusevski or Lucas Moura ahead of them in a 3-man midfield.
I'm not ready.
And then
I'm
where
not
you could
ready
have
for
two
that.
up top,
I'm not-
but
we can get into the Kulusevski over Mora talk. I'm not ready to say that Kulusevski deserves. I didn't see enough.
it's an
from
option.
him. Right, it's an option for rotation, and I can hear that. At the end of the day, let me preface everything I'm saying. At the end of the day, whatever Conte chooses, I still trust. I'll put it that way. I'm not one of those homers that's just like, I'm always going to root because of our guys, but when it comes to Antonio Conte, I trust him.
Yeah.
And to me, whatever he chooses would be fine, but I don't feel as though Kulusevski has shown me enough. Now, his decision making has seemed to be good. His technical ability seems to be good. Man, he's fucking slow. And I've been seeing a lot of people hate on him too online because he's fucking slow. And I get it. That was pretty frustrating. He couldn't take on that defender when he had a one-on-one opportunity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, real quick,
So for
let's
me,
round up
Lucas Moura
the
he can do that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to digress too much, but I'm
Yeah,
just
let's
saying
get into the rest of the back
Kulusevski
line.
thing got me triggered.
Ben Davies, left-sided center back once again today with Reguilon at left wing back. We mentioned how Romero was our best defender on the pitch. I'm going to go ahead and nominate Ben Davies as our worst defender on the pitch alongside Emerson Royale today. And then Reguilon, which we're about to dive into as well. He could possibly take a nomination there for the worst defender of the day. But let's get into Davies first, man. Obviously, he had the mistake that led to the first goal. He was just so frustrating to watch again today, man. And it reminds you, or at least it reminds me, about how desperately I wanted a left-sided center back in this window, along with
Conte
the right
said
wing
just
back,
as much too.
along with the creative mid and a backup strike. Like we have all been saying the same things over and over and over again regarding what we needed in January, and none of it was addressed, my friend. Like, oh, it's so frustrating. We need a left-sided center back, man. I think this was another perfect example of why Davies is just not it. Like, for a Premier League starter, top four challenger starter, like
No.
Ben Davies is not going to cut it, man.
No chance.
Need a new left-sided center back in the summer. Do you have any thoughts before we move on to Reguilon? I know you don't like
Atrocious.
to talk about Ben Davies particularly, but
He was atrocious. Clumsy-footed motherfucker. Just not good today. Very much not good again. I think at the point I was making earlier. These guys are starting to show their true colors once again. It's fucking frustrating. It's disappointing.
yeah,
Just like
no,
I
for
think
sure.
Reguilon is fucking showing his. It's like one game he does pretty somewhat. Yeah, thank you for that. And then the next game, I feel like he's just kind of all over the place. He had
What
he had a one-on-one opportunity. Technically our first shot on goal,
Yep.
and he couldn't just compose himself enough. I think he's very excitable. He's energetic and just like all over the place. He's like a fucking spaz.
I think he thinks too much in those types of situations. You know what I mean? I think he tries too hard.
Bro, just bury it in the bottom corner. That's
Yeah.
all you gotta do. Just pass it into the bottom corner. I feel like a lot of other people could have completed that. Now, could they have been in that position at that time? That's debatable. Now, is the guy completely trash? No, I'm not saying that. Do we have a better option? Should we talk about Sessegnon? I mean, to me, it at least raises the question when he has these type of performances.
Yeah, it depends how they're doing in training, I guess. Just because Sessegnon hasn't gotten a lot of game time, so it's just kind of tough to tell. You know what I mean? Or I guess
Right,
in the
but-
limited game time that he's had, he hasn't particularly been impressive.
But that's the thing; it's been limited, so like you can't
Yep.
impress if you don't get the chance.
Yeah. Yeah, look, the one good thing that I'll talk about Reguilon today is I thought that he had a few good crosses, and then I thought he got into some pretty dangerous areas. Obviously, like we talked about, he had that really good chance early in the match where he should have buried a one-on-one opportunity against the keeper. Yeah, he just looked all over the place, man. He looked like he was trying too hard out there. He was trying to do too much, I guess.
And that's the thing. You got Harry Kane and Youngman Daddy. They can take care of the big stuff. They can take care of them big moments. You just got to help them. And Harry Kane gave him such a beautiful fucking cross. Twice, if I'm not mistaken, there was 2 different crosses that Harry Kane gave into him that he just couldn't figure out a way with.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so frustrating. I think both of our wingbacks, I don't know if it's a systematic thing, but I just don't think both of our wingbacks cut it.
Yeah,
I mean,
man, I don't know.
If I'm going to
Maybe-
address one first, it's obviously going to be the right.
Yeah,
Obviously.
That's
I
more
think everyone
pressing.
can agree. It's definitely a bigger issue. But, it is a big old but. Maybe the left side needs addressing too when we get a left side center back.
yeah, it remains to be seen. Real quick, before we move into the attack, we kind of already covered a few Winks and Højbjerg, but let's just cover them real quick in the midfield. What was your assessment on Winks? I know you already talked about Højbjerg, how he did provide some pretty good opportunities for our attackers, but overall, just not good enough, obviously. The scoreline says it all.
Mm-hmm. I think, I guess if you look at the decision making, Antonio Conte and I don't see eye to eye on this because he took out Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. I think at the moment in that game that he took him out, Højbjerg was
When
starting to
Bentancur
look,
came on, right?
correct,
Yeah.
in the 60th minute. He was starting to look shaky, Højbjerg. But he had a decent game up till then. So I'm not going to hate on the man too much. But Winks, I thought for sure he should have been considered for a substitution because he was just looking big boyed. I feel like
There were times where I kind of forgot that Winks was on the pitch for some reason.
he's moused up, little man mouse. Just, don't touch me. Don't be mean to me. It's raining. He just little boy again. Starting 11 of a challenging top 4 squad. This isn't gonna cut it. Harry Winks is not gonna cut it. Now, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg and Bentancur, maybe. Skip and Bentancur, maybe.
Yeah.
I could see that more than I could see fucking anyone with Winks. He showed, again, his true colors to me. I thought he was highly disappointing. One of my top 3 highly disappointing performances of the day. I thought this was a good opportunity to show everyone, hey, I know you brought Bentancur in. He can handle the ball. But you know what? As soon as he came in the first 10 minutes, 15 minutes, there was so much skill shown, so much poise, so much technical ability shown. In such a small amount of time, I was like, wow, he's already better than Winks in this game. And Winks has had a whole first half ahead of him.
Mm-hmm.
It's atrocious, man. I can't wait for Skip to come back. Because even Højbjerg and Skip is better than Højbjerg and Winks. I never want to see Højbjerg and Winks matched up together in our midfield. Especially with Emerson Royale out there on the right. Because if they're trying to compensate for him, Sanchez trying to compensate for him, just not good enough, man. Not good enough. For what we're trying to accomplish, not good enough.
Let's round out the starting 11 with the attack. Lucas Moura started on the right, Hyunmin Daddy on the left, and King Kane up top. Following a 2-goal performance, Harry Kane came into this match looking to add to his goal tally in the Premier League. We were both excited. We had both predicted a Kane hat-trick today. Sadly, wasn't the case, but
how dumb are we?
We move, regardless. Hyunmin Daddy did have one of the goals today.
No bobblehead today?
Nah, no bobblehead. Well,
No.
I guess I'll bring it out just for good old sake. There you go.
There he is. What's up, Kane?
But Hyunmin Daddy did put away one of our 2 goals today. Was almost on the end of our first one as well, which got ruled an own goal. Let's start with Hyunmin Hung first. What was your assessment, Jacob, of Hyunmin Daddy? For me, personally, I thought he had a decent performance. Obviously, it was huge getting that goal. We know he loves a goal against Southampton, so it was nice to see him not only return to the score chart, but also at home, man. You know what I mean? Just after being out for so long, it was good to see him back in the goals in the Premier League. I know he had scored against Brighton, but regardless, man, it's always a good time when Hyunmin Hung scores. But other than that, I thought he was he played decent. I didn't think he got the ball as much as he should have, along with the rest of the attack, but not really their fault when they're not going to get any service from the midfield or the wing backs. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But what were your thoughts overall on Hyunmin Son's performance?
I thought he was bright. I thought he showed a lot of similar qualities that he's always shown. But I also thought there was a few chances that he left some things to be desired. And you know me, Hyunmin Daddy's my favorite player. But I do have to call it how I see it. I thought that there was 1 or 2 chances that I would have liked to see something different from him. I feel like he's fully capable of. So I'm not real upset with him because obviously both of our goals, you could argue, if he wasn't doing what he was doing, those don't happen. So, yeah, I think he was our 3rd or 2nd best player today.
Yeah. What about Harry Kane? Obviously disappointing that he didn't get on the goal tally today, but for me, I thought he was all right. I still think Hyunmin Son was probably our best attacker today, but regardless, I thought Kane, when he did get the ball, I thought he played the ball well to Sonny and Lucas, especially in the middle of the first half and then early on in the second. It was just unfortunate he didn't get any goals today. But for me, I thought he was all right. What about you?
I thought he was underwhelming.
Yeah.
I'm looking here at his stats. He lost possession 18 times. I think Emerson Royale and Winks both lost it 18. No. So Emerson Royale lost possession 17 times. Harry Kane lost possession 1 more time than Emerson Royale. His passing, 63%. 43 touches. That's a lot of touches for your top man. I feel like you got to do something with it. 1 shot on goal, 1 shot off goal. It's not enough.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not enough. He didn't do enough. If he stepped up, bag a goal or 2, that's a fucking tie. It's a win. Now, I can understand the argument, like, when were those chances supposed to happen? Because he was busy creating chances for the likes of Reguilon and Hyunmin Son. And so, I don't know. I'm not saying he was horrible. He was just underwhelming. And if you want to be a top side, you need your top players performing, quite frankly. And I thought Heung-min Son did enough as a top player that if you have his counterpart, Harry Kane, giving you a similar output, that gives you a really good chance to win that game.
Mm-hmm.
So, who else lost possession a whole bunch? Was it? I mean, Winks only lost it 9 times. I think it was Sanchez that lost another 17. He lost it 16. So, I mean, those are the 3 players who lost possession the most this game.
What
It's not
about
good
Lucas
enough, bro.
Moura? I thought he was a lot better than the Brighton performance, but I mean that's not saying much. He wasn't very good against Brighton, but I thought he was more active and he was more threatening on the attack than he was against Brighton. What about you?
I thought he was halfway decent. I mean, again,
I think this is the
He-
problem though.
he got an
Like,
assist, so,
I think
like-
we've been saying that like yeah he was, he was all right. Like I feel like we've been saying that too many times about the 11 today. I think that's one of the reasons why we lost today, because there was just too many meh performances, not enough good performances.
yeah, that's fair. No, I'd say that's definitely fair. I mean, looking here at it, our front 3 lost the ball. Heung-min Son lost at 14. Lucas Moura lost at 13. Harry Kane lost at 18. That's not good enough, bro. You
Yeah.
got to keep possession. And in the first half, it looked like we couldn't hold on to shit. And we were still somehow 1-1 at half. Luckily, could have easily been down 3-1. We just need more from our top guys. But Lucas Moura, for me, he got the assist. He was trying. He was trying to do things. Wasn't that successful. Was meh. I mean, you're right. How many times do we got to say he's meh? But what do we got? Is Bergvine going to offer you more in 90? Or I guess he didn't play 90, Lucas Moura. He got
No,
subbed
he
out.
came off
He's
for
76. So
Yeah.
who's going to give you? Maybe Bergvine could give you something similar. You know what I'm saying? In 75 minutes, 76 minutes, whatever it is. Like, this was a position that could have been Adama Traore's.
Yeah, it could have. Either the right wing or the right wing back, depending on what Conte wanted to do in a particular game. But yeah, it could have been.
It just wasn't good enough, man. Was not
Yeah.
good enough.
Bottom line, not good enough. You want to talk about the subs real quick and the new guys, and then move on to man of the match and BD before we end the episode?
Yeah. So I'm gonna start with Rodrigo Bentancur.
Thought he was pretty good today. I'm
I
not
thought he
gonna
was
lie.
bright. He had some really nice passes. Those passes looked nice. He looked confident on the ball. I think we got a player in him. And what's
I would like to see more than 20 minutes. You know what I mean? Like I want to see more.
Mhm.
I want to see how long he's gonna, like, what he does in a good 70, 80, and even 90 minute stretch in a game.
That's why
we're getting teased right now. Like, this is the appetite. They're the appetizer. The main course is on its way.
That's why I said he deserves to start. He showed enough in the first 10, 15 minutes of being out there. He showed me enough to deserve a start. I mean, he had desire to get the ball. He was tracking back, helping the back line. He was thinking forward. He was moving the ball forward. Deep passes, long passes. He's got skill, man. We brought him in. You got to start him next week, bro. He showed me definitely enough. The question mark for me is Kulusevski. I think he just needs a little bit. I hope he just needs a little bit longer to adjust. He's a little bit younger than Bentancur, so some guys it's a little bit harder for them. He doesn't have another Swede to be buddy with. At least Bentancur has another South American, a couple South Americans. You know what I'm saying? So and he's older, a little bit more mature probably. So for me, I'm not worried about Kulusevski. I hope it comes along for him.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm not ready for me to say he deserves to start over Lucas Moura or Steven Bergvine in that position. That's just how I feel. He hasn't shown me enough. Now, I think he's got, for what, a 21-year-old, he's got a pretty smart head, a pretty big frame, and he's pretty well composed. I will say those things. He looks okay right now. I want to see once he's fully in stride, worked with Conte for X amount of time. You know what I'm saying? I think then we'll really see what this cat's made of. But right now, I haven't seen enough from him in the limited time to say he deserves to start over Mora or Bergwijn.
Yeah.
What about you? What were your thoughts? I mean, I know we were texting each other about Rodrigo, saying like
I think
how
Bentancur's
impressed
a
we
good
were with
player,
some of
man.
his passes.
A really good player. I think we got a really good player on our hands. Kulusevski, I think he's all right. I do agree with you. I think he's a little bit slower than I thought he was going to be, but hopefully with some a few weeks of some Conte fitness training sessions, he'll be fit and good to go. But yeah, man, Bentancur, I'm excited about him, and I agree. I'd like to see him start next game over Winks. Hopefully Skip will be fit and available to play on Sunday against Wolves, because I'd like to see a midfield three with possibly Lucas Moura in front of them, and kind of like a diamond, if you will, but or a triangle, I guess. But look, man, we thought Steven Bergwijn had scored late in the match. I had literally sent you a picture of my hands like this around my face.
I was getting emotional. I was very emotional.
I was already celebrating as if we had equalized, and I guess we had at the time. But ultimately, just not enough impact from the subs. I thought Bentancur, I'd like to see him get a little bit more forward. We've seen his technical ability, his footwork. I'd like to see him in more attacking areas. You know what I mean? And more in the final third. Let's get him the ball and let's see what he can do. But I don't know if he's necessarily being instructed by Conte to do that. I think he's sitting a little bit deeper than I would like to see him. But, you know, the more he plays, the more opportunities and different scenarios that he's going to be played in. So it remains to be seen how much of an impact he can make in the final third. But ultimately, man, I want to see some more creativity from the new guys coming in. Hopefully they can bring that creative spark to our formation and to our 11. But until then, I feel like we're gonna have to fight and claw for every single fucking point for the rest of the year, unless someone's gonna step up, create chances for our attack, and we need to put away the chances that we do create. You know, we mentioned the Reguilon miss. Son had missed a chance. Kane had missed a chance. You know, we definitely had a lot more opportunities than bagging 2 goals today. You know what I mean? Like, obviously we could have lost by more. Yeah, you could have made that argument too. But we did have some chances that we definitely should have put away. So, I don't know, man. I'm just trying to hang on to the hope before our next match against Wolves this Sunday. But who's your man of the match? Man of the match in BDE?
If I have to pick, I'll say Hugo Lloris, my man of the match. I fucking hate trying to pick a man of the match after we lose because
yeah, it's tough.
like, I don't know, who do you pick? But I thought Hugo Lloris was good. So that'd be my man of the match. My BDE, I'm going to go ahead and give it to Bentancur. I thought he stepped up in a moment in which we looked doubtful. And he really brought something that we weren't seeing at that point in the game. So for me, that he gets some big dick moment for that. I do want to correct myself. I said there was 20 shots on target. I was wrong. They had 23 shots on target. Or 23 shots, sorry. 10 were on target. So that's more of the reason to give Hugo Lloris my man of the match. What about you?
Man of the match, I'll go Hyun Min Hung for scoring the goal. BDE, I wanted to give it to Emerson if we had won. But since we lost and his performance, I'm not going to give it to him. BDE, I will go Romero.
That's fair.
He had a lot of BDE today, regardless of the result.
So Hugo Lloris did nothing for you?
He's up there. He's definitely a contender. I would put him more for man of the match than BDE, but he's up there, yeah. But I'm going to give it to Sonny just for scoring the goal.
Okay.
But I can definitely see an argument for Hugo. Plus, it changes it up. We have some different nominees.
Yeah,
Keeps it interesting.
That's nice.
Up next in the Premier League for Tottenham, we have this a game this Sunday at home against Wolverhampton Wanderers. That'll be at 7 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then 2 p.m. 2 p.m. UK time if you're listening across the pond. But yeah, thank you for listening to another edition of the United Spurs of America podcast. We want to give a shout out to our two sponsors, Faraz and Pete. Thank you so much for the support on the channel. And the podcast. If you want to become a supporter, there's if you're watching on Spotify, there's a link on the what do you call this? The scrolling
ticker?
The ticker, yeah.
A banner? Scroller? I don't know.
Scroller at the bottom of the screen. Go to anchor.fm/United Spurs of America. Anything from $1 to $10 to become a supporter would be greatly appreciated. We also want to give a shout out to Ellie from the Tottenham Away family for donating 2 massive $45 donos yesterday on the live stream. You're an absolute legend.
Not
if you're listening,
$45, 45 pounds.
45 pounds, sorry.
That's
45
more than
pounds.
$1.
So thank you, Ellie. We appreciate the support and thank you for the donation. But yeah, we will see you after the match against Wolverhampton this weekend on Sunday before we have another Premier League battle at the Etihad against Man City next Saturday. But we'll see you before then. And then also, don't forget, we have a live stream on Tuesday every single week on Tottenham Way's YouTube and Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
So please check us out on there as well. Jacob, any final thoughts before we wrap it?
I'm going to say the same thing I said last week with my final thoughts. I love Heung-min Son so much. He's what's keeping me going. And I'm sorry that he probably had a bad night because of this game.
Yeah, he did.
But I love him, and I hope he feels
move.
better. I hope he feels better. That's my final thought.
We move. As always, thank you guys so much for listening to another edition of the United Spurs of America podcast. Up the lads. And Jacob.
Come on, you Spurs.
Cois.
See ya.